Hi, welcome to 7 Facts, the channel where you'll find the most awesome facts about every single country on Earth. In today's episode of the Canadian series, we'll talk about Newfoundland and Labrador, but there's a playlist containing all of the Canadian videos, so be sure to check it out. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. I upload twice a week, so it'll be worth it. Newfoundland and Labrador is Canada's easternmost province, located far in the northeastern corner of the American continent. It was the 10th province to join Canada, and this was done in 1949. Before that, Newfoundland was a British dominion, a self-governing state with a relatively high autonomy from British rule. Due to a high debt load arising from World War I, the Great Depression, and the construction of the railway, Newfoundland found itself in a deep economic crisis. Their legislature willingly voted themselves out of existence in 1933 in exchange for loan guarantees by the Crown. 15 years with no elections followed, at the end of which 2 referendums were held to join Canada. The second referendum passed, and on March 31, 1949, Newfoundland finally joined Canada. While almost everyone just calls the province Newfoundland, that's not entirely correct. The full name is Newfoundland and Labrador, changed in 2001 in order to recognize the enormous piece of land included within its borders. However, only a small percentage of the province's population lives in Labrador, making this one of the most sparsely populated regions on the entire continent. While the province encompasses both Newfoundland and Labrador, 94% of the population lives on the island of Newfoundland. Of these, another whopping 40% live in the capital city, St. John's. It's also worth noting that only 1.5% of all Canadians actually reside in this province. The capital and largest city of Newfoundland and Labrador is St. John's. It's also North America's easternmost city. Existing on maps as early as 1519, it is one of the oldest European settlements in North America, and in fact, the locals claim it to be the oldest American city. St. John's has a rich history, having played a role in the French and Indian War, the American Revolutionary War, and the War of 1812. It's also where the first ever transatlantic wireless signal was received in 1901, changing the way our world communicated forever. The first non-stop transatlantic flight also started from here. But this pivotal historic city was almost wiped off the face of the earth 5 times. During the 19th century, 5 city-wide fires burned to a crisp St. John's in 1816, 1817, 1819, 1846, and the worst one in 1892. You can sort of travel to France without leaving this province. In what is a great example of how bizarre colonial politics were, there is a bit of France located in Newfoundland. Saint Pierre and Miquelon is a self-governing overseas collectivity of France, right off the coast of the province. The history is more than complicated, but the gist of it is that Saint Pierre and Miquelon changed hands between France and Britain at least 10 times. Nowadays, it remains the only remnant of the former New France that's still under French control. Long before Columbus discovered the New World, Vikings had already settled Newfoundland around the year 1000. The oldest confirmed accounts of European contact with America date from 1,000 years ago, as described in the Viking Icelandic sagas. Around the year 1001, the sagas refer to Leif Erikson landing in 3 places to the west, the first 2 being Helluland, probably Baffin Island, and Markland, which is probably Labrador. Leif's third landing was at a place he called Vinland, which was most likely Newfoundland. Archaeological evidence of a Norse settlement was found in Lanso Meadows, which was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. The only known case of a German's landing in North America during World War II was in Newfoundland. On October 22, 1943, German submarine U-537 landed on Martin Bay in the north of Labrador and set up a remote weather station, Court. It consisted of several measuring instruments, a telemetry system, and a transmitter. After having the station assembled, the U-boat departed. Then the place was forgotten by all. The next time someone would visit it again was in 1977, when a geomorphologist stumbled upon the weather station. He didn't realize what he had found and thought it was a Canadian military installation. It would take another 4 years until someone else realized what the installation was and revisited the site. Today, the weather station can be viewed in the Canadian War Museum. Newfoundland and Labrador is unique and wonderful, but the mummers tradition is one of the craziest and most awesome tradition on the island. Mummering takes place during the 12 days of Christmas, when groups of friends, family and community members dress up in homemade masks and costumes and move as large groups from home to home. The members of the visited home try to guess the identity of the disguised, and if they guess right, they must remove the mask. Drinks and food and party take place during the event, and costumes can be extremely elaborate with padding, cross-dressing and even voice alterations. The tradition has its origins in England, Ireland and other parts of Europe, but today only Newfoundlanders still practice mummering. These were 7 facts about Newfoundland and Labrador. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Share your thoughts downstairs in the comment section, and afterwards check me out on Facebook and Twitter. A good way to offer more support to this channel is through Patreon, link in the description. I hope to see you next time. Bye.